Hey YouTubers, Christopher Wanamaker here doing another new financial literacy video on the specific topic of tips and tricks to building wealth. So I'm going to be going over a variety of different areas, and I'll even talk about some personal experiences that I've had in on certain of these topic areas. And I have a PowerPoint slide to go through to cover this area that I'll be reading from. So one of the very first things is look for any type of discounts when possible. Ask about if you're like a high school student, college student discounts, military veteran student discounts, or even upcoming holiday discounts as well. Check your 3 credit reports, preferably once a year or at least once every couple of years. Verify everything on there is accurate, and if it's not, do what you need to do to file a claim, an appeal, something like that to get it fixed and cleaned up, because that could be affecting your credit score, and the higher credit score that you have, the better off you will be with a better financial future. So prioritize your errands to save gas. Consider either walking or riding your bike if you have a bicycle when you're traveling within a mile or less. If you don't have access to computers and stuff, internet yourself, consider going to public schools or libraries and use their computers and printer access as well to print things if you need to. Consider eating before you go shopping, to a movie, or to an event, so that way you're not being tempted to purchase a full meal, or you're just going to buy a drink or some kind of appetizer instead. Always have a meal that is tempting in the freezer at home to avoid eating out, so a higher quality meal that you've specifically bought in order to avoid going out and spending way more money. The Canadian financial guru from Till Debt Do Us Part, Princess, and Money Morons, Gail Bucks Huxley, has recommended as long as you can afford it, you're living still within your means, you have a little extra income, it's fine on average to eat out about to a fast food, kind of drive-through kind of place, Burger King, McDonald's, whatever, for 1 meal per week for fast food, if not less, maybe once every 2 weeks. And then sit down, restaurants like Mexican food restaurants or a steakhouse or something like that, Outback or whatever. One good sit down restaurant meal per month is fine at a restaurant. And then, a substitute that you could do instead of purchasing an entire entree, if you want to save money, if you already ate at home or whatever, but you're just a tiny little bit hungry, consider getting appetizers or desserts instead of a full entree meal. Next, use the 24-hour rule. If you can live without this item that you're drooling over for 24 hours, then so now you have discipline, you have willpower, and by doing that, you're really wondering, do you really need this? Can you live without it? Is it just a want, or is it a need? Is it a necessity? Or is it just a want? So holding off for 24 hours can help you to have some willpower and discipline and stop wasting so much money on impulse buying. Online banking. A lot of people still have normal banks. I do not. I actually have USAA, which the only physical facility they have is in Colorado Springs. So I've had them for about 14 years, and so all I do now is, if I need to, interact with them, is either I do everything through the USAA app, or I call them on the phone and just talk to a person over the phone, and that's about it. So maybe consider switching over to an electronic bank. Allergies are bugging me a little bit. Maintain your car. Follow maintenance log guide on keeping up with your maintenance, keeping your maintenance receipts, and place them in a 3-ring binder. I have an example of this. This is my 2018 Hyundai Kona maintenance service log, and pretty much 2 major things in here. One, every single time I get maintenance services done, the most recent services receipt and paperwork of what they did is all right here. Now this can actually do a couple of different things by doing this. This is really important for like especially newer vehicles. If you start doing this even within say about 60,000 miles and then forward from that point, then you're good, because usually from 0 to 60,000 there's really no major issues as long as you've kept up with some of the basic stuff of like every 5,000 miles an oil change and things like that. So but having this can do a couple of different things. First off, it can pretty much make it where when you try to sell your vehicle, if you have from 60,000 miles forward all the maintenance service receipts, so you're showing the person who's buying it everything that's been done to the car, and that you've tracked it, now they have the paperwork, you are authorized to sell your vehicle at the higher end Blue Book value. The other thing it does, which also happened to me actually, and so what it does is prevents you from being taken advantage of at the maintenance service location. So what happened with me was leaving Colorado Springs, and then moved from Colorado Springs mid-November 2019 to here now, Ridgefield, Washington, north of Vancouver, Washington. And then, next oil change and all that occurred. Took my vehicle to the local Vancouver Hyundai services in Vancouver, Washington. And that was the first time that I've been there with my 2018 Hyundai Kona. So they didn't have any information on my vehicle. They had never done services on my vehicle. So other than having like tire rotation and oil change and all that, they're calling me up and saying, "Oh, you need like transmission fluid and coolant and some replacement of spark plugs. You need like several $100s worth of additional services." Well, I'm not the mechanic subject matter expert. I consider them to be the subject matter expert, and whoever made the car. And so since my car is a Hyundai, I take it to the people who built the car. I'm not going to take it to Ford and all that. But the other thing is if they're the subject matter expert and they're like, "Oh, this thing needs it," then I guess it needs it. But what I did not know is that the Colorado Springs Hyundai services and the one in Vancouver, their computer systems don't talk to each other. So they're telling me I need all this stuff, all because they don't have any records of me ever being there and bringing my vehicle to them and them working on it, and when was the last time it was done. So that's why from now on I do something along this line, using 3x5 cards to keep track of everything. So something like that. And what it pretty much is spark plugs, fuel injection, coolant replacement, brake fluid replacement, transmission fluid replacement, brake replacement, engine filter replacement, cabin filter replacement, oil filter replacement, which is every 5,000 miles, and all this. And then I have, required spark plugs every 90,000, fuel injection every 60,000, coolant replacement every 60,000. Brake fluid replacement every 60,000. Transmission fluid replacement every 60,000. Brake replacement every 50,000. Engine filter replacement every 15,000. And then I have last time it was done at what the mileage was, and then write down that plus, let's say, so for example, fuel injection 95,276. So the next time I would need it at another 60,000 would be 155,300, which I'm about 2,000 miles away from that. So here soon I'm going to need a fuel injection. So and then I also have another one ready to go. I just rewrite everything. So when was the last time each of these was done? Add at what mileage is required, and so when it's the next time it's going to be done. So you're tracking. And then what I was able to do is take this information, bring the binder, show them evidence proof to cover my butt And what it did was they did up a memo, the owner of the place, like, we screwed up. We told you that your vehicle needed all these fluid replacements and all that and spark plugs when it really didn't, because you were only at the halfway required mileage mark. So if fuel injection was 60,000 at that time, I was at like 30,000. I was halfway through it. I needed another 30,000 before my car needed fuel injection fluid replacement again. They did it too early. They said that my car needed it when it really didn't. So by doing that, so they didn't want to get sued. So to prevent that, they did up a memo, and the owner of the business signed off on it, saying that for future maintenance services that he needs, whatever it is, we're taking several $100s worth off that we owe him. So we're going to be doing some free maintenance for him, and they have a copy and I have a copy. So keeping track of your maintenance service receipts for your vehicle can cover your butt and also help you sell a vehicle for higher dollar blue book value as well. Another thing about the vehicle stuff, other than keeping up with maintenance your receipts and all that, it's also good to have like a 3-ring binder with document protectors in it, and using this for if you're like a rideshare driver or something, tracking your gas receipts, car wash receipts, purchasing gum and bottles of water and all that kind of stuff for your customers. You keep all of those receipts and keep them in a separate 3-ring binder stuff, and that's tax write-off information for your tax accountant that you can keep. So on top of that, something else that I learned was for rental vehicles. I kind of screwed up with this. Last October, I turned in my vehicle to have a vehicle wrapping done, and but I was still in school, so I still needed a driver to get around. So apologies for the allergies. So I went ahead and purchased, through Enterprise, a car insurance. What I did not know and I should have done was go through my bank and verify, does my current car insurance cover everything under a rental vehicle, and it does. So the renter's insurance I have, the car insurance that I have within their policies, I let them know that I have a rental car, maybe what year, make, model, what's the license plate number, so I'm fully covered. And but I was paying for double insurance that I didn't need to pay for. So before buying insurances through like any kind of vehicle rental company, highly recommend double checking with your banking insurance to see if your insurance covers you fully for everything, damages or whatever, accidents, while you're in that rental vehicle. Let's go into another big one. What are the positives and the negatives of buying a new car versus buying a used car? So, both of them have positives and negatives. Everything in life does. So, I mean, when you buy a brand new car, then it's brand new. You are the very first owner. So, yes, you are going to spend a lot more money. The average, I think, is anywhere from about $20,000 to $30,000. Let's say, I think most of what I've seen is between $25,000 and $30,000 for like a brand new car, depending also, the year, the make, the model, what version. Usually there's about, 3 or 4 different models. There's higher end luxury ones with leather seating and higher quality stereos and all that kind of stuff, but it being brand new, you won't have to spend so much time for a long while for like the first 100,000 miles for maintenance or major maintenance services and all that. And then that's also help building your credit as well. You agreed on the dotted line of, for the auto loan, what bank did you get the auto loan through, and then who are you paying? You making consistent payments, or even maybe during the last year or two, you somehow got a bunch of money and you pay it off early, as long as there's no penalties of paying off the auto loans early. And so, but by doing all that for multiple years of having a loan and paying it off and consistent payments, and then later near the end paying it off early, that can benefit your financial future by increasing your credit score and your credit history. So, you're building credit, improving upon your credit, building your credit history by making a responsible auto pay loan process. You're going through that. You got a newer vehicle. It's clean. It's brand new, so there's not going to be a whole lot of issues. Keep up with the basic maintenance services on it. Like every 5 to 6,000 miles, you're getting an oil change and a oil filter change. Keep up with the cabin air filters, tire rotations. Keeping up with tires and brakes and all that kind of stuff. About every 50,000 miles is when you need new ones. Keep up with the basic maintenance, and you really won't have hardly any issues, of course, unless you get into an actual physical accident with your car. You won't really have any major issues for the first 100,000 miles. So you also know that you're not getting a car that was used by somebody else, and you don't know if they took care of it or not. So there are some positivities on having a newer car. But yet it is cheaper to get a used car. The main thing that I would recommend of getting a used car is, if you're going to go that route, try to either find a local mechanic that you know and trust, or a friend mechanic to go with you. Have them look over the vehicle, the ins and outs. Is everything looking good? Is it clean on the inside? And maybe you make certain stipulations, like, I'm willing to buy the car, it looks good, but I want to take it into a mechanic, or maybe I need you to put, brand new tires on it, or something along that lines, and then, yes, I will buy it, from you. You get the title right away and all that, and now it's your problem. Used cars, they can go anywhere from, $500 to a $10,000 car, so you're spending way, way less. But then there's the fact that since it's used and someone else, 1, 2, 3 other owners had it before you, you don't know what kind of problems it has. You don't know how well someone took care of it. By going that route, you're not really, paying off a auto loan, or even a personal loan, or maybe you are. Maybe you pulled out a personal loan to buy this used car. That's another thing. The answers to, I need money, payday loan or family or friends. That's not the only thing. Those are the more non-responsible directions you go of how to get money quickly. It's more of, can you do something to make extra money off to the side? Plasma donation, Uber, Lyft driving, DoorDash, even if it's like a bicycle version, are you a bicycle courier, kind of DoorDash or Uber Eats or whatever? Are you donating sperm, donating eggs for a woman, whatever? Are you finding other ways to make extra money off to the side, and to be able to put money towards this, like auto loan? Are you going through your bank? Are you pulling out a personal loan, an auto loan, maybe both? You're signing up for that, and you're getting that to, whether it's for buying a car, or it's for putting down for a mortgage or something, or you getting a mortgage from a bank. So getting actual loans from certain agencies like your bank and stuff, and then paying towards those instead of bugging your friends and family members, I would say is the more responsible and better way to go. But like I was saying, getting a used car, there's risk to it. You're not paying a monthly amount, so you're not really working on building your credit, having a good credit history, unless you're pulling out some kind of loan from like an institution like a bank in order to get that used car. Otherwise, it's just, a cash transfer pretty much. And then you get the title, and now you're taking on risks of, who had it before, is it in actual good condition? Is something getting ready to go wrong and fail that you have to pour money into? Give it a bit of example. What am I talking about? My older brother in his entire adult life pretty much went through about 12 to 13 used vehicles. Now, after buying the vehicles, fixing up the vehicles, maybe even trying to make some improvements on the vehicles, the amount of money he spent in 20 some years on used vehicles, he could have probably bought and paid for two brand spanking new vehicles right off the brand new car lot. So I would say, for me personally, it's better to, go the route when if you know you can be financially responsible, you have a good paying job, you're keeping your nose clean, you don't get in constant trouble, you don't constantly lose job after job, so you're constantly having consistent income come in, then going the route of a newer vehicle, having an auto loan, paying it off over time, paying it off a little early if possible, is the better route to go. And then nowadays, newer vehicles last a lot longer as long as you keep up with them. As long as you take care of your any kind of property, and things last longer. So, apologies, nose. But and then so if things last longer, then you don't always have to trade it in for the newest thing. And so. You could also personalize your vehicle, add the new rims, paint job, vehicle wrapping, change the interior from fabric to upholstery for, $1,600-ish bucks or whatever. And that's what I did. With my second car, I really like the look and feel of this car. I keep up with maintenance services. Anything it needs, it gets. I hear a weird noise, I get it checked out, and I pay whatever I have to pay to fix it. Especially because at the time I was like, Lyft Uber driver. So even though I'm not, I still want to take very good care of my car. But once I paid it off, actually I paid it off 31 months ahead of time last summer because I had some unexpected VA disability money I wasn't expecting to come in. So I was able to pay it off early. And then after that, I had more money left over. So I started doing upgrades, doing from fabric to leather upholstery for a little over $1,600, and then a vehicle wrapping from Canby, Oregon, for $3,600, and it took 17 days to do. So got vehicle wrapping with pinstriping, and then I started doing some other exterior accessories, 50 cal bullet, carbon fiber bullet antenna, and like LED lights, and then these military patches of different military units that were vehicle emblem things you put on inside the vehicle that were originally adhesive, and I modified them and made them magnetic. So I kept making improvements on the interior and exterior of my car that now I have the title to. So personalize it to you, to fit you. And then just take, good care of it. And, hopefully, it'll last me a long time, and I, don't have to go get a newer car. So, and I have all the maintenance service receipts for the entire history of taking care of my car too. So there's that. Let's go into another area, for, tips and tricks to building wealth. Use paper coupons or Groupon apps and stuff. If you want to be a major couponer. Another thing you can do is get rewards cards. So things like Fred Meyer's rewards, Safeway Club, and then if you're a rideshare driver, sometimes you get things. When I was a Lyft driver, and this thing still works, even though I'm not a rideshare driver anymore. This was a Lyft Shell rewards card. And so automatically I go to a Shell station, I use this, put it in as rewards, and I get like 5 cents off per gallon. So if you get any kind of rewards cards, that you build points when you shop at these places, and then if they have gas stations and all that, and then those points go towards money off at the pump. So there's that. Let's see, free meals for kids, veterans, for, special holidays. So, for Veterans Day and all that, possibly even Memorial Day for veterans, we can look up restaurants where you get, a listing of free meals, or if it's around your birthday as well, you can look up around your birthday what places give out free birthday meals. You might have had to go the first time and sign up for some sort of, rewards membership or something like that, and they give you a listing of like free meals. You may have to pay for a drink and a tip, and that's about it. So I know, like for example, Red Robin does that. I signed up, and then like a month later, it's activated. So for my next birthday, kind of thing, around each of my birthdays, I go to Red Robin. I show them proof that it's around my it's within my birthday month, and I get a listing of certain specific items, and I get a free meal. And I just got to go in the system and pull up the rewards and everything, verify that it's within my birthday month. So you can get free meals or ice creams or whatever at certain locations. You can look it up on Google. If you're able to find ways to make extra money, like plasma donation, Uber Eats, DoorDash, whatever, consider, by paying down your debt at a faster pace, by calling up for these, whatever loan you have, personal loan, auto loan, whatever, and making a specific principal payment. And you have to let them know, I want it to be a principal. I don't want any of this money going towards the interest, and making principal payments. And over time, you do that so many times, not only could you pay it off faster, but then you could also see about refinancing. And then after so many principal payments, that you can refinance instead of maybe paying, like last time I had an auto loan, I was paying $411 a month payments. And if I made a bunch of extra principal payments, I could look into paying it, refinancing it. And maybe I'm paying like $350 month payments instead of $411. It would decrease my overall monthly amount if I make those extra principal payments. Transfer money automatically into savings each pay period. So setting up an allotment specifically from your paycheck that puts a certain specific amount, it could be $5, $10, $20, $50, $100, whatever, into your savings account, or to multiple different savings accounts. One's is a normal savings, one's a emergency savings, and one's a vacation fund or whatever, or college fund for a kid. And when you have like cashback rewards, take those cashback rewards, either put it towards on a balance on a current credit card to lower that balance amount, or take that money and specifically have it transferred automatically into your savings account. The savings accounts usually have better interest rates than checking accounts, so you only keep so much. I keep an average about $3,000 to $3,500 in my checking account at all times, and then the rest all goes into savings because it has a better interest rate. So then the more I keep building up the savings every month, I'm getting a couple dollars, then eventually it'll be so much money that it'll be several extra dollars in interest per month that will hit my account. Get a home or car warranty for repairs, once you hit, like, say, Hyundai, you get one of their newer vehicles, it's like 10 years or 100,000 mile warranty. When that expires and they let you know, consider maybe extending it by, another 50,000 mile warranty. If major, things happen, problems with the engine, then those warranties could, replace it. So spending a little bit more now on an updated warranty could save you major money down the line for repairs. If you are going to invest, which I started doing this very recently, I invested into Virtue X Omni. I invested in a robotic, medical robotic surgery robot thing as well, a company for that. I'm going to have to call them up and start digging into more here, because it's the first time I've ever invested in stocks, and see, is there anything else I have to do, to really start getting in, doing my homework, doing my research, and are there more steps that I need to take part in. Diversifying your investments, take a bit of risk. Risk could be worth the reward, overall reward. Keep to your budget. That's very, very important. Create a budget and then keep to it. Don't spend money you don't have, and don't live beyond your means. That is really big and important. Okay. Sign up for company health insurance. Depending on who your business is, who your company is, what benefits do they offer. So sign up for the company health insurance if they have it, unless you have some other form of health insurance. I don't have to worry about paying for, Medicaid, Medicare, because I've got VA health care that I got when I got out of the military and I got an honorable discharge. So full VA medical health care. I'm covered on that. Employer match on 401ks, profile sharing plans, life insurance through your employer, research and compare to other companies, disability insurance, research that, tuition reimbursement programs, apply for grants, scholarships, and financial aid. Now this I have some serious experience in. I just recently graduated from Washington State University, Vancouver, WSUV, in Salmon Creek, Vancouver. I live just like 15 minutes north of there in Ridgefield, Washington. And I did a total of 10 semesters, 39 classes over those 10 semesters. 38 classes were required to get my bachelor's in business accounting. Well, I made some mistakes and I learned from it, and that's what you got to do. And I knew a lot of people, other veterans, other college students who didn't really take the time to apply for grants and scholarships. Well, I did, and it massively paid off. Now, the first semester, what I would do is the first week of the beginning of every semester, once the main homework was done, one of those days out of that first week, I would take 7 to 10 hours worth and be applying for FAFSA grants and then scholarships. Now, the beginning, for the first 1 or 2 semesters, I made some mistakes, learned from it. I thought that I could only apply for scholarships that fit my specific degree. I come to find out a little later on that no, I can apply for scholarships that fit my degree, but also fit my life circumstances as well. So by doing that, the first semester I didn't qualify for anything because it was within the same year that I got out of the military. So because of what I was making from taxes and all that kind of stuff, didn't qualify. But after that, I did. I started qualifying like no freaking tomorrow. And between from the second semester all the way to the end of my 10th semester, altogether by taking 7 to 10 hours worth out of one day, for the beginning of each semester, I qualified. It's like, hey, I'm just applying. I'm just doing the best I can, apply, and then whatever the government, says I qualify for, I qualify for. If I don't qualify, I don't qualify. But I at least took the chance and put in a little time and energy to apply. This stuff wasn't going to fall in my lap. They're not just going to hand it to me. I have to do the legwork and the paperwork. So by doing that, I, over the last 9 out of 10 semesters, I did the math and added it all together, and I pocketed $76,028 over the last 9 out of 10 semesters, or 5 years worth of college. And the last 5 semesters at WSUV, how much of the $76,028 was from WSUV? I wanted to know that too. About $51,500. So by taking the time, putting in the energy, putting in the effort, it's like you don't know what you call. You might qualify for $50, or 500, 5,000, 50,000. You don't know unless you try. So stop thinking that somebody's going to just hand you this stuff. It's going to fall in your lap, and it can very well benefit you. I mean, on top of that, I got to pocket all that money because I was using the post 9/11 GI Bill, which means that depending on the college and the area and all that, when I first started college at Pikes Peak Community College in Colorado Springs, I was getting paid. Started out, the very first semester was $1,550-ish a month, and then slowly over the next 5 semesters, it slowly increased and it got up to $1,880. Then I would also get it's like $41.60, I think, $41.60 per credit hour, whether I was taking 4 classes or 5 classes, 12 or 15 college credit hours. and that kind of reimburses me for books. Sometimes I actually pocketed some money, and sometimes I spent more than what I actually got. But, I was reimbursed about 80-90% of what I spent on books. So I'm getting reimbursed for books. I'm getting paid per semester from the post 9/11 GI Bill. It also depends on the environment and the class and all that. What's your living costs to live in that area. And then once I got to Washington State University, it started out during my sixth semester, or my first semester at WSUV, $24.53 per month, and slowly over time it went up. And my last, I think, 2 semesters, it was $25.25 a month. So I was one of those rare people who did the right thing, pushed myself, went in the military, sacrificed for 13 years when all I needed to use the GI Bill was a full 4 years minimum. Push myself mentally, emotionally, physically, sacrifice, deploy, all that kind of stuff. And then I got out, earned my GI Bill, used it, and then got reimbursed for books, got paid monthly to go to school. As long as I passed each and every class with a 70% or better, then my tuition was covered for those classes by the GI Bill. I was offered student loans, didn't have to pull them out at all, because I also had a side job of part-time Lyft or Uber driving while I was doing college, doing an average of about 30-35 hours a week while in school. And then when I wasn't in school during summer classes, I was putting in, 50 hours to like 65 hours per week, and then making good full-time money. Either way, I was, even without grants and scholarships, I was making about $4,000 to $5,000 a month altogether, with all those things combined. And then on top of that, I take the time to apply for, 1 day's worth of applying, take the time to apply for grants and scholarships, and pocketed a buttload of money. And about other people who don't have the GI Bill, that don't have that privilege, as long as you took the time to apply, and, for your kind of grants and scholarships that fit your degree but also fit your circumstances, then hopefully you qualify. That's up to the government, and so that's above your pay grade, and once you get it, you don't exactly get to pocket it like I do. You have to probably use it to put towards your tuition and books and all that kind of stuff to pay for college. So that's another interesting subject when it comes to applying for grants and scholarships. That I would definitely say, take at least, 1 whole day's worth of the first week of every semester and apply for every grant and scholarship, and do the best you can, and constantly ask questions as well, to be able to possibly qualify for more and more. You have to put in the legwork, ask the questions, do the paperwork, and all that, okay? So let's see, we're here. Start your emergency savings. Should be at least 3 months worth. If you can do more than that, 3 to 6 months, or 8 months, or a year's worth. And how do you figure that out? Figure out what your total amount of expenses are per month, your fixed and variable costs. Add them all together, and then multiply by 3 months multiply by 3 for 3 months, multiply it by 6 for 6 months, and start saving that up. And that's how another way you will buy, donating plasma, Uber Eats, DoorDash, Lyft, Uber, donating sperm, donating eggs, whatever. You could be taking that money and putting it away in emergency savings. Just look at what happened with people and employment when the pandemic hit. Those were very, unforeseen circumstances. But everybody needs to start being more ready. Not only with like a bug-in kit, bug-out bag, emergency preparedness kit, but also emergency savings as well. Use your net monthly expenses. Have a few $100s in cash in an emergency preparedness kit, not in your account. This is something FEMA and Red Cross recommend. A bare minimum of $200 pulled out of your actual bank account in cash, mostly in small bills, maybe even hidden in a couple of different like waterproof spots within a bug-in kit or a bug-out bag or something like that. Preppers would say between $500 to $1,000 in small bills pulled out in cash would be a better idea other than just $200. Because what happens if a natural disaster hits and banks are closed and electricity is down? Your plastic credit card and debit card that's what it is. It's plastic. It's now useless. It's just a plastic object. That's all it is. So having either rare metals, gold, silver, platinum, copper, whatever, or jewelry, or emergency cash money, or bartering trade items, extra alcohol, tobacco of any type, marijuana, first aid, ammunition, whatever, batteries, little extra things to trade is a good idea. Purchase a house instead of paying rent. That really depends on people's circumstances. And nowadays with how, inflation and everything, they're saying for some people, renting actually might be a better, safer option. For me right now, it is, and that's why I rent instead of buy, and there's benefits to that as well, especially having a leasing office. And, they do all the lawn work and get garbage from my front porch and all this other stuff. A lot of more amenities. If there's any issues with the apartment, like a burnt out light bulb, you just put in a work order. If you're having problems with washer and dryer or any appliance, then they'll come and look at it, maybe replace it or repair it. That you don't have to do that yourself or hire some contractor or whatever. So that's one benefit to having an apartment over an actual house. Revamp your budget. Consider refinancing and fine-tuning monthly bills once a quarter at least, so every 3 or 4 months, or if your credit score has increased by like 100 points. So that's one of those things where you started out with like a personal loan, auto loan. It was at a certain monthly payment with a certain APR interest, and then you found out over a year or two your credit score jumped up like 100-ish points. You might be able to talk to whoever that loan is through, like your bank or whatever, and be like, hey, I went from a 550 credit score, now I'm at a 650 credit score. I'm doing a lot better. Can we look at, refinancing? And so maybe it lowers your APR interest total, and so you're putting more towards the principal, less towards the interest, and it might even lower your monthly payments, even if it's by, $20 to $50. So on top of that, not just personal loans and all that refinance, but as like your credit score increases or whatever, you can every now and then be calling up, like your for your phone or whatever, or internet, and looking at, are they having specials? Do they have a new type of account that you can sign up for, a new plan that fits you better and it saves you money? So fine-tuning, not just loans and everything, refinancing, but fine-tuning your own monthly fixed and variable cost, your utility bills and all that will help save you money. Research how to save money on your utility bills usage from YouTube. I actually have one of those videos on utility bill life hack videos. Check it out. How to save money, electric, heating, water, and garbage, several ways around the home. Maybe, you install certain devices, like in your sink to use less water. Maybe instead of using a dishwasher, you're washing everything by hand, especially if you've added something to the faucet that decreases the water usage, and all that might actually save you water. Don't waste water by overfilling your bathtub to the point where when you submerge your body, the water level rises to the point it drains from the circle wall drain. Use a small piece of electrical tape to mark a water level point for each person so it doesn't overflow and waste water. I give an example of that in my utility bill life hack video. Don't use or leave central heating or air conditioning systems on all day. Using them sparingly for only a few hours out of each day, or find an alternate system to use, because central heating or air uses twice the electricity compared to a plug-in electrical heater. I witnessed this myself in Colorado Springs apartment. I had central heating and air, and then after like a year, I realized that, and I discovered through YouTube videos as well, that I got an LED plug-in with a remote control those LED light fire electrical heaters on wheels. It looks like a fireplace and everything. And that uses half the electricity. And the one I got, my apartment was 520 square foot in total, and that warmed up 1,000 square feet. So when I started using that instead of, say, central heating during the winter time, being Colorado gets cold, then I actually cut my electric bill in half. So, yes, central heating and air is very nice. It's very effective, but it's also uses about twice as much electricity compared to a plug-in appliance. So, businesses spend money that you have an account with. So, like your electric company and all that kind of stuff, phone company, they spend money to mail you out paper bills. So, they actually increase your monthly bill by, a couple bucks to several dollars, maybe even up to $10. So that's why you should go into when you set up an account with your phone plan, electric company, internet, whatever, you should be opting for paperless billing and auto pay. That'll save you several dollars that they'll take off your total monthly bill because you've gone that route, which a lot of people who are decent with technology do nowadays. Instead of getting the paper bill, they get either text messages or emails, or they can log into their account and see it for themselves. When it comes to, instead of always considering apartment rentals or actual physical house for a mortgage that's on a foundation, another thing is nowadays we have more options when it comes to housing. You need to research to see if it fits you, if it could fit your lifestyle and all that kind of stuff. Research tiny houses, whether it be on a foundation or tiny house on wheels. Shipping container houses, tree houses, yurts, the school buses that were turned into tiny house RVs, the Sprinter van, tiny homes kind of thing. So maybe you're more into, you want to be able to be mobile. You want to, if a natural disaster is coming in the area and you have a tiny house on wheels with a gooseneck trailer or whatever, hook it up and batten down the hatches and get out of there. If it's a shipping container home, and hopefully you have the original doors to it, batten down the hatches and shut all the major doors that lock up the shipping container, and it'll probably be nice and toasty crispy on the outside. But if you have the heat foam or inside or inside outside and all that, then it might look burnt on the outside, but hopefully almost everything on the inside could be fully okay from say a bad forest fire or something like that, depending on how hot it actually got. If it gets hot enough, it can melt, but you have a higher chance of protecting your home if it's either mobile and you're just getting out of the danger area with your home, or it's like a shipping container home, and then maybe even part of your shipping container home is an underground shipping container bunker or something, like a basement or a bomb shelter kind of thing. So another thing to consider. There's more than just the normal apartment complex or normal house on a foundation. So we have more options nowadays. Look into it. Learn to network and go through friends or family members who have access to employee discounts for certain products or services. And then research, call, and ask businesses about student, veteran, and holiday discounts on products or services in order to save yourself money. So a lot of time when I go out, because I am a veteran, when I was a full-time college student, I asked the same thing. Hey, do you guys do student discounts or do you do military veterans discounts? And then I have ID card to prove both of those, and a lot of places do it, so I would get some kind of discounts, or if they had even both, a veteran and a student one, I was like, are they both the same, or which one's more? Not many places really do a combination of both a veteran and a student. It's one or the other discount. So, almost done here. I've already talked about that. First of all, take part in some kind of research study that pays you to be the lab rat, possibly like a sleep study or something. I think the last thing is talk about the Dave Ramsey Snowball Effect. And what this pretty much is it's talking about, list your debts in order by smallest to largest, no matter the interest rate. Pay minimum payments on all of the debts except the smallest one. Tackle that smallest one by at least doubling the payment to it, if possible. Once the smallest debt is paid, take the money that you were paying on it and add it to the minimum payment of the next smallest balance. Once that debt is gone, pay the third smallest balance with the amounts you were paying toward the other two, and so on. So what it's talking about is, let's say there's three categories. There's a $500 payment, a $1,000 payment, and then a $1,500 payment. Make your minimum payments on all three, and then for that $500 a month payment on a loan or whatever it is, try to double it if you can. So try to turn that 500 and put 1,000 towards it, or maybe it's 700, 750, 800. Do what you can. As soon as that smallest payment is fully paid off, what you were putting towards that that smallest $500 minimum a monthly payment, once it's fully paid off, whatever you were putting towards that, add it to the next payment. So now let's say you were putting $1,000 towards the $500 a month payment. Now you're taking that $1,000 and putting it towards the $1,000 payment. Now you're paying $2,000 on that. As soon as that's payment, take all $2,000 you're putting towards that and add it to the last $1,500 payment. Now instead of $1,500 a month, you're paying $3,500. It's the Dave Ramsey snowball effect of how to pay off debts faster and more effectively. And the way, where do you get the extra money? That comes in with, do you have some sort of side gig that you're doing, surveys online that you're getting paid for, taking part of medical sleep studies or medications or whatever that you're getting paid for, plasma donation in your area. I think currently right now I know of two different places in Vancouver, one in southern Vancouver, one in northern Vancouver, and they... one of them's near the Vancouver Mall, and the other's off of a Mill Plain that a buddy of mine goes to. The one off Mill Plain does donate twice in a week, and you get like $115 total per week for two donations, and unless they have some bonuses going on. And then the other facility that's newer, near the Vancouver Mall, near a theater where the old Bed Bath & Beyond used to be, and there's a Chuck E. Cheese and all that, and a Target and all that in that area. And that one, I believe, from what I talked to, it does $140 a week on top of possible bonuses. So $140 per week, minimum of 4-week months. What is that? $560. If you're able to do it for a 5-week month, and sometimes you get that about 5 whole weeks within a month, then you're making in the 720 range, so 560 to 720. Right around on top of possible bonuses. So there's a good amount of money that you could be making. And by donating plasma, you're helping your community. You're getting paid to do it, and they're using that plasma, which is the clear liquid of your blood. They give back the red blood cells mixed in with an IV. That clear protein of your blood, that plasma, is used to create medications, or they do plasma infusions for people and all that. So it's like a triple win. You're helping other people, you're helping your community, and you're getting paid for it. So it's a good thing to do. And then on top of that, most of the places do referrals. You find more people, they sign up, they write down your name as a referral. You get 50-ish bucks once that new referral has donated 2 full times. Then the next time you donate, you get that referral money. So that's another way to look at all this. I believe that is everything for tips and tricks on building wealth. Talked about positives and negatives of having a new vehicle over a used one. You got to do your homework and research on things. Taking the time to apply for grants and scholarships in school. Not just doing spring cleaning in your own home, but also look at doing it with your finances, your monthly expenses, your fixed and variable costs. Can you refinance? Can you get better, newer plans? Digging into that every now and then when you need to, tighten the notches on your belt financially. You want to fine tune things. You want to fine tune your monthly budgeting. Those are all really good things that can help save you a lot of money. Also, there's another thing when it comes to time for spring cleaning, or if you do it like once a season, like I do, you're going through your home, and then you're also looking into using like OfferUp or having a yard sale, a garage sale, eBay, those kind of things. And so you're grabbing items and you're combing through things and like, oh, I have this, I haven't used it in a year or two, so why keep it? Is it still good? Can I either donate it to like say a Goodwill or a homeless shelter or something like that, or can I put it up for sale? Or if I put it up for sale or trade on say OfferUp, for example, and it doesn't sell within a year or two, then I need to look into maybe just donating it instead to get rid of it. So there's another idea of how to make money, and so to clear out your clutter and don't become a hoarder as well. It's something I'm always looking at. Hey, I want to get an upgraded something. I got to get rid of the thing I'm going to replace first. So like, for example, I have my sports rack 18 cubic foot a roof lockbox container on top of my car. Well, I want to get like a newer, same size one, but Thule, better, higher quality, more aerodynamic, tougher, looks more tactical too. It would look better on my car, so there's multiple benefits to it. Instead of opening from, let's say this is the lockbox container, it opens up from the back. Well, the Thule ones that I'm looking at open up from side to side, so I would prefer those. It would be easier to get to things. So it's like $800. Well, the one I have, Sports Rack one, on my car on Amazon, selling for $400. It's used, so I'm asking $300 on my OfferUp profile. And so I'm trying to sell that in order to get the money, in order to get a better, higher quality one. So, to upgrade things, you also got to get rid of the old. So I think that's about, all I have for this financial literacy video of hints, tips, and tricks on building wealth. Hope you really enjoyed this video. Please hit like, please hit subscribe, make any comments. Hopefully they're positive. Hit me up if you have any questions. So you guys have a good day. You have a good summer. Stay safe, and then be smarter and more fine-tuned and more disciplined and organized and efficient with your life and your personal finances. All right, you guys have a good day. Take care, and bye.